If your hydrangea has been sitting in the same spot for 2 years looking exactly the same size it was the day you planted it, a few sad leaves, maybe one stubborn bloom, mostly just existing, I want you to stop blaming yourself, and I want you to stop blaming the plant. Because here's what nobody tells you. Hydrangeas are not slow growers. They're one of the fastest growing flowering shrubs you can put in the ground. So when yours stalls out, it's almost never the plant being lazy. It's one of a handful of invisible things choking the growth before it ever starts. And the wild part? Most of these things are the exact care tips you've been told to do. The daily little sprinkle of water, the full sunspot you picked because more sun means more blooms. All of it quietly working against you. Today I'm giving you 7 tricks that work with the way a hydrangea is actually built. Do even 3 of these and you'll see new growth within a couple of weeks. Do all 7 and you'll get the kind of fast, full, dense green flush that makes your neighbors ask what you're feeding it. And trick number 4? Trick number 4 is the one that sounds completely wrong until you understand why it works. And it's sitting in your kitchen bin right now, so don't skip ahead, let's get into it. Trick 1. Cool the roots and the whole plant speeds up. Here's the first thing you need to understand about your hydrangea. It grows from the roots up, and its roots hate being hot. Unlike a lot of shrubs that send roots deep to escape the heat, hydrangea roots sit shallow, most of them living in the top few inches of soil. And that's exactly the zone that bakes hardest in the afternoon sun. And when those roots get hot, the plant does something sneaky that you'll never actually see happen. It stops growing and quietly slips into self-protection mode, pulling water up just to survive instead of pushing it up to build new leaves and stems. You don't see it wilt dramatically, you just see it do nothing for weeks. And because there's no dramatic symptom, most people never connect the dots back to root temperature. So your first move, and honestly the single highest leverage move on this whole list, is to cool that root zone down. Lay down a thick ring of mulch, 3 to 4 inches deep, not the thin decorative dusting you see at most garden centers. Start about 2 inches away from the main stem so you're not smothering the base of the plant, and spread it out all the way to the drip line, the invisible edge where the outermost leaves reach. Bark, wood chips, shredded leaves, pine straw, even a layer of compost topped with mulch, they all work. What this does is twofold. It holds moisture in the soil so it doesn't flash dry, and it drops the soil temperature by several degrees. The entire difference between a plant that's surviving and one that's actively building new tissue. Keep the mulch off the stem itself though. Piled against the wood like a volcano, it traps moisture and invites rot. A ring, not a volcano. Quick one, if you want a step-by-step guide for all 7 of these with exact quantities and timing, I put every fix into one cheat sheet, the Plant Fix and Bloom cheat sheet. It's the first link in the description below. Alright, let's continue. Trick 2. Water deep and lazy, not little and often. Now, watering. This is where I lose people because it's the exact opposite of what feels caring. Most folks give their hydrangea a little splash every single day. It feels loving. It's actually training the plant to stay weak. Here's why. When water only ever touches the top inch of soil, the roots have no reason to go searching for more. They stay shallow, they stay thin, the plant stays small, and the first genuinely hot, dry day of summer, it panics. Because there's no deep root reserve to draw on. What you want instead is a deep, slow soak, 2 or 3 times a week rather than a sprinkle every day. Put the hose at the base, turn it down to a slow trickle, and let it run for several minutes until the water has actually sunk down deep into the soil, not just wetted the surface. A soaker hose left on for 20 to 30 minutes works beautifully. Then leave it alone. Let the top inch or 2 of soil dry out before you go again. That dry then deep rhythm sends a clear signal straight to the roots. Water is down here, and you have to go get it. And so they dive, building a deeper, more extensive root system season after season. Deeper roots mean a bigger underground engine, and a bigger engine means faster, sturdier top growth. Remember this, the plant you can see above the soil is only ever as big as the plant you can't see below it. Trick 3. Pinch the tips early to double your stems. This one feels destructive, and it's one of the fastest accelerators there is. When new growth is coming in during spring and early summer, find the very tip of a healthy stem and pinch it off with your fingers, just the top set of leaves. I know, it feels backwards to remove growth when your whole goal is more growth. But here's what's happening beneath the surface. A hydrangea stem mostly pushes upward from a single dominant growing point right at the tip. That tip releases a hormone that suppresses the buds lower down, keeping them dormant so all the plant's energy goes into that one upward push. Botanists call this apical dominance. pinch that tip out and you remove the source of that suppressing hormone. The plant responds almost immediately by waking up 2 side buds lower down the stem. So 1 stem becomes 2. Do this across the whole plant early in the season, and instead of a handful of tall, lonely, leggy stems, you end up with a dense, branching bush filling out fast and wide. More stems means more leaves means more energy captured, and more energy captured means the whole plant snowballs into faster growth. Just stop pinching once flower buds have actually set, or you'll trade growth speed for blooms. Trick 4. Feed it the thing in your kitchen bin. Okay, this is the one. This is the trick that sounds completely made up until it isn't. Your hydrangea's fastest growth comes from 2 things working together: nitrogen, to build green leaves and stems, and potassium, to build strong roots underneath everything else. And 2 of the richest, gentlest sources of exactly that combination are sitting in your kitchen right now, on their way to the trash. Banana peels and leftover black coffee. Here's the move. Take 2 or 3 banana peels, chop them up, and drop them in a jar with the cold leftover coffee from your morning pot. No milk, no sugar. Top the jar up with water, put the lid on loose, and let it sit for 3 to 4 days. What you're making essentially is a slow, mild ferment. The peels leach out potassium and a touch of phosphorus. The coffee adds a gentle hit of nitrogen along with a slight acidity that hydrangeas genuinely love. The result is a cheap, balanced, homemade root drink that costs you nothing. After those few days, strain out the solids, dilute the liquid with about an equal amount of plain water, and pour it slowly around the base of the plant, onto the soil, not up on the leaves. Do this once every couple of weeks. Don't throw away the peels, bury those shallow in the mulch ring from trick 1, and let them break down naturally. Nothing wasted. The reason this works isn't magic, it's that it's gentle and consistent. Most people accidentally kill their growth speed by hitting the plant with one big, harsh blast of synthetic fertilizer that shocks the roots. This banana and coffee feed is the opposite. A steady, mild feed the plant can actually take up right away. Slow and steady doesn't just win the race. With hydrangeas, slow and steady is the fast lane. Trick 5. Spray the underside of the leaves at dawn. Here's a trick borrowed straight from professional growers, and almost no home gardener does it. We're all trained to think of feeding only through the roots. But a leaf can drink too, and it drinks fast, far faster than roots do. The underside of a hydrangea leaf is covered in thousands of tiny pores called stomata, and those pores act as an express lane straight into the plant system, far quicker than waiting for nutrients to travel up from the soil. So once a week, early in the morning while it's still cool, mix a very weak, diluted liquid feed, a quarter of the strength you'd ever use on the roots, into a spray bottle, and mist the undersides of the leaves until they're just lightly coated. Why morning, and why does it have to be cool? Because those leaf pores are wide open in the cool of the day, and they slam shut tight once the heat sets in. Spray at noon and the liquid just evaporates off before it's absorbed, and can even scorch the leaf. Spray at dawn and the plant drinks it straight down. You'll often see a visible deepening of the green within just a few days. Out of everything on this list, it's the fastest way to push a stalled out plant back into active growth. Trick 6. Fix the magnesium, fix the green. If your hydrangea's leaves are looking pale, or yellowing specifically between the veins while the veins themselves stay dark green, your plant is quietly starving. And it's a type of starvation that slows down absolutely everything else you're trying to do. That pattern almost always points to a magnesium shortage. Magnesium sits right at the center of every chlorophyll molecule, the green pigment the plant relies on to turn sunlight into food. Low magnesium means weak chlorophyll. Weak chlorophyll means the plant can't convert sunlight into energy efficiently, and a plant that can't make energy efficiently simply cannot grow fast, no matter how much you feed or water it. The fix is cheap and quick. Dissolve about a tablespoon of Epsom salt, plain magnesium sulfate, the same stuff people soak sore muscles in, into a few liters of water, and water it in around the base once a month during the growing season. Within a couple of weeks, you'll usually see those pale leaves green back up and firm up. Greener leaves are more solar panels switched back on, meaning more fuel for growth elsewhere. Don't overdo this one though, once a month is plenty. More isn't better here, it just builds up as excess salt in the soil. Trick 7. Give it the right light and shelter it from wind. The last trick costs you nothing but a little observation, and it might be the most powerful one on this whole list, because no amount of feeding on Earth can fix a plant sitting in the wrong spot. The sweet spot for almost every hydrangea is gentle morning sun paired with protection from harsh afternoon sun. Morning light is soft and cool, and the plant photosynthesizes happily through those hours. Afternoon light in midsummer is brutal. It scorches leaf edges, overheats those shallow roots from trick 1, and forces the plant back into defensive survival mode. If yours is baking in full afternoon sun and sulking, that alone could be the whole problem, and every other trick on this list will underperform until you fix it. If it's in a pot, just move it. If it's in the ground, even a bit of afternoon shade from a fence, wall, or taller plant nearby makes a real difference. And watch the wind too. Hydrangeas have big, broad leaves, and constant wind dries them out and rocks the shallow roots loose, so they never settle in and grow properly. A spot tucked beside a wall or fence gives the plant the calm, sheltered microclimate it needs to stop defending itself and start growing. Get the light right and the wind blocked, and every other trick on this list suddenly works twice as hard. So there they are, 7 hidden tricks, and not one of them needs a single thing you can't get cheaply or completely for free. Cool the roots with a deep ring of mulch. Water deep and lazy instead of little and often. Pinch the tips early to double your stems. Feed it that banana and coffee root drink. Spray the leaf undersides at dawn. Fix the magnesium with a little Epsom salt once a month. And give it morning sun with real shelter from the wind. You don't have to do all 7 this week. Pick the 2 or 3 that match what your plant is telling you right now. Pale leaves point you to trick 6. A stalled out plant points you to tricks 1 and 2. A leggy plant points you straight to trick 3. Start there and watch what happens over the next couple of weeks. Hydrangeas reward you fast once you finally stop fighting how they're actually built and start working with it instead. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me which trick you're trying first. And if it's the banana and coffee one, come back in 2 weeks and tell me what happened, because I promise you, you're going to be surprised at how well it works. Thanks for watching. Now go give your hydrangea a fresh start. I'll see you in the next one.